yeah, just stoked to watch it, and it's been awesome, man. So good for you, brother. So you like, okay, you've been through. Let's talk about previous attempts then. So your journey, like if this is not your first funded account that you've received, like what happened with previous accounts? What has been the journey there, and in regards to getting funded?
So the first funded account I had was through FTMO, and didn't make it to the first payout because I breached the daily loss rule on that. But I did have profit in the account of still 11K. So I still got that paid out. And that again was, yeah, just those kind of, I think in that, I remember in that mind frame, it was kind of like, oh, making 7K this day. And it was like, lost all sight of the value of money just because it just becomes numbers instead of being like, whereas in my head now, I'm like, I was earning $350 a day. Anything above that is fucking great. So yeah, less is always more. But yeah, and I lost that account. And I think I just remember that feeling of just being like, so you feel so useless because there's no one else to blame but yourself and your own need for more. You're not always going to get, you have to try and remember the return on markets, like, top hedge fund managers get the return that, I mean, high levels heart surgeons make. When you start to convert that to a monthly rate and daily rate, like what you can possibly earn here, like doesn't even compare even if you're just taking, 750 to $1,000 a day. So that was a big lesson for me. And then I had my Forex fund account as well, 200K. And yeah, it was pretty much the same thing there. Again, just before the first payout, missed it because I think it was, I remember that one was different because I started negatively and I went down. And I always like kind of starting on a positive note. It just kind of snowballs there for me. And I went down and it was just kind of, the psyche was not in the right place because there was kept on trying to, okay, I need to make this up now. Now I'm down 4K, 5K. I need to make this up today. And it was just rushing it, and not putting myself under unnecessary pressure with regards to, finances coming up. I'd been off the boats for, 6 months at that point. So I look back on that and
You had
yeah, I
pressure.
think that's,
You had financial
yeah.
pressure coming in.
Mm,
Had kind of lost sense of reality in the sense of what was going on,
mm,
and it's like you
yeah.
knew you had the ability to trade, but I guess you couldn't trust yourself to hang on to the account or
Yeah.
not be greedy. Like you couldn't trust your own fingers in a sense. So it was like
Mm.
that's
I
what it
think, yeah,
seemed
also
like. Is
like
that
just,
correct?
yeah. And I think just psychologically, I wasn't ready, I
Yeah.
might have thought I was because I could get the thing, but, proof is in the pudding, until you're okay. I was getting my gratification. I remember this from having those big days from being like, fuck, I just pulled in seven. I just did this, like, whereas like I feel like right now the position I'm in, I get my gratification from following my process. From
Mm.
when I look at the charts, like even today and like last week, there's so many times when I'm looking at it and I go, like, I know it's gone past the mean up and it's in a beautiful wave pattern. It's going to go down. I could make money if I placed a trade, and that's what I would have done in the past. I would have placed it, and and I just say it's not in my rules. It's not where I want to trade, because if I trade Jay, yes, I may make a little bit of money, but then I'm already starting to put myself into a pattern and a habit that's okay. And I just want to know. So having that like gratification of being like, that's not in the zone. I have a lot stress free. I remember trading on those accounts where because I was making so much so quickly and then losing it, like I was always so highly stressed, being like, fuck, I've got to make that up. And now, I sit in the morning, I analyze, I wait to see where, volatility in London. It's there, it's not, I put some set and forget. I go to gym, come back, make $750. It's really so much more relaxed. It's everything you told me and I said I could do, but at that stage, I just wasn't psychologically ready for it.
It's so interesting, isn't it? Because I
Mm.
went through the same process myself, right? I actually journaled. I was teaching everybody something and then I was doing something different, and like I journaled all the shit I was doing. And then when I looked at it, I actually had one of my other students over at the house and he's like, why would you put a trade there? And I was like, you tell me. Like and I journaled it and I was like, I spent a week just looking at what the trigger was or what the pattern was, which was, you can't even describe it, but it's like impatience. It's
Yeah.
it's like it's an addiction. And I journaled it for a week and I was like, I'm not, like, you can't keep doing that. And it was just like, and to where it is now, it's like, there's a gratification. There's almost like it's not even for me, it's gratification now. It's just like a relief. It's like, oh, like there's no trade there. I don't need to like spend any time on this.
Mm,
You know,
yeah.
it's like if there's good wave action now, I'm like, oh fuck, I've got to like be here and take this money because it's there. That's really
Yeah.
where it is for me. You know, it's like the shift in. Whereas before it
Yeah.
was like, I need a trade today. Like, there's got to be a trade. Like today's like, fuck, I
Yeah.
can take the day off. I can
Yeah.
relax.
Exactly.
Like you like today, this Martin Luther King Day. It's like I'm gonna do some other shit. Like I don't
Yeah.
need like to be
Exactly.
able to not trade. It's so interesting. Hey, like how would you describe like letting go of that? And actually, yeah, as you said, you have cultivated
Mm.
gratification from doing the process properly. And it's like the fact that you know you can trust yourself to do that, like it's like such a beautiful feeling, right?
No, absolutely. It's like day and night in comparison, just from zero stress because you're not worried about you've lost. I would lose like 2 or 3 grand, 4 grand sometimes in a London session, and then try to make that up, and then you're already starting down. And now it's like, you're just like you said, I have so much more free time because like, I love challenging myself both, educationally, physically. So like I want to be the best trader. I want to be the best at what I do, and for me to be the best, it requires me to sit on my hands. That's all I do is I sit on my hands. I look at the market, and then I go make a coffee. I sit outside in the sun. I read.
Mm.
I set alerts for when it comes into those zones. Nothing's on. Cool. I have time. I go to gym. It's like, what can I do today now? I can go for a run. I can go and do this. So, I'm not controlled by the screens. Whereas, previously I used to sit and I'd be controlled by the screen because I used to sit there all day waiting for an opportunity. Now it's just like, nah, I'm looking. If it's there, it's there. It's not. But
Yeah.
it's an amazing feeling, to be able to just be calm and be happy to not take a trade and be like, because it's going to come, you know.
How are you getting out of bad positions now? Have you got that kind of like you feel safe when you're in a losing position?
I haven't really, I must say, I haven't got into like too many bad positions that are catastrophic yet since I've been home put away, touch wood. I've had them where they've gone against me, and my previous bad habit would always be to, kind of hedge against it, like wait for it to go against me and then wait for the turn and then go in again and then try and get them to, which sometimes works, sometimes it goes against me, and but then I used to do that far too heavily. Whereas now, because I'm, using the River 2.0 and also just trading on like that second red band and that outer white band or black band for you, when it does go against me, I still feel comfortable enough leaving it, and waiting for that time and just watching it. I've seen times where it's like it's running out of steam and it is going to go down. I've yet to see a real thing where it's like, okay, this is continually grinding up, which will be, I think, my next big challenge is on the day that I misread it and it's not, and it is going against me, is how I handle that. And I'm kind of aware of that because
Yeah.
um, I'm I remember previously I used to I used to trade a lot. I had a lot of lots trader. I didn't really have a high success rate. It was kind of like 48, 47 because I was trading so much and losing so much. But I had a lot of big winners. Whereas right now on this count, I'm 88 to like 90% on my win rate. And it's not that I
Mhm.
don't want to have losers, but it's just I'm not trading a lot. And I'm also just leaving it to do its thing. I'm trusting the price action and my, analysis of the market, So with that being said, there's no need to get out immediately, even if it goes against me, it could go against me, grad five, but I know you can see when it starts turning around.
Yeah. So you're reading the session properly, and then if you can see that it's got a propensity to like trend strongly in a direction, you're just staying out at the moment.
Yeah,
That's what you're doing.
exactly.
Yeah. Because like
Exactly.
we've
Yeah.
got that, there's ways we can capitalize on those training moves, but I think especially where we're at now, and the fact that you are now funded, keeping that strong frame is so important because
Mm,
as we've discussed, like I think like if you can prove to yourself for 6 months that you can live off this
mm,
genuinely, like that's all you ever need to know. You know what I
yeah.
mean? So like right now it's like let's like just make enough to like have a great life. I mean, it's not difficult to replace your
Mm,
yacht salary at all for you. You know, you're overtrained. So like you definitely can make 10K a month and it would be like get to that and just leave it for the month and then like
yeah.
what the and be okay with that and be like shit, like I just want to
Mm,
show myself that I can literally pull 10K a month out of the market
Yeah.
and be paid this and feel that feeling. Because once you've done it for 6 months, it's like, even if you go into a bad patch, you always know that you did that and you were capable of doing that. And then forever moving forward, you know, you can do this as a job. And so I think that's the most important thing we work on now in your psychology, is to like really, really fine tune that. Because as I said, if you can prove that you can take 10K out of the market a month, it doesn't matter. Like the amount moving forward doesn't matter. Like, you know, I'll get you capital. We'll get capital. There'll be capital knocking at your door. You know, you will be able to manage $1 million, $2 million, $3 million, $4 million, $5 million account when that 10K a month, the same movement, the same leverage, the same movement, different leverage, like, but the same trading is actually 200K a month with the exact same move.
100%.
You know what I mean? So you just got to think about
Absolutely.
that now. And that's why we're going to open up this account, FP Markets, that we're speaking about, so we can start training you on a bigger account on the side as well to put that record in, you know. But for now, it's like, just you really embody that, like, you know, even if other aspects of your life don't agree with it, we're not going to change who we are entirely. The trading success relies on that protocol, you know.
Yeah.
So
like I've thought about this a lot, like over the last couple months, particularly whilst overseas and on Unfortunate Son, you know, like, fuck, man, I was like wildly unhappy because I was fucking grafting my tits off, man. I was like, fuck, I'm working hard on a private vessel. Yeah, in the yard, I was like, long days, you know, had family shit going on at home. And I was like, you know, it was just like, I was in such a rut, and I was like, fuck, I'm grafting so much harder than like it needs to be. You know, I'm craving freedom of time and choice. I want to say, I want to go to gym now. I want to, like, hey, look at the markets for now and then be done. So, you know, that like that feeling is ingrained in me. And I'm also like big on like calculations and finances. So like I've run through all the numbers in my head. And like I know now that I have this account, this is why I feel so confident, because all I'm going to be doing is placing one trade a session. If it's on, it's on. And it's, you know, one limit order, and that is it. You know, one limit order on 300K is $750. If you're doing that because of your location, getting 2 bites at the apple, you know, if you get it, you get it, you don't. I could be having 1 to 2 trades. I'm getting 750 to 1,500 a day, and that's it. You know, I look at it being like that for 3 weeks, because there'll probably be days that there's news announcement that I'm not going to even trade.
and it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
You can't lose an account that way, going one thing. And it's like I've been doing. That's how, you know, even got this account, but more, you know, a little bit more aggressively. And you know, I have so much faith in my own ability, but also in the system and you know, the tools that you've taught me, you know, through the mindful scalping, that, you know, it's like it's so simplified when you just take your emotions out. So, you know, for me to place one trade a day, fuck me, I'm going to be living easy.
Yeah. And some days you're not going to take a trade, like today, for example. Like there's no trade on, and it's being content with not taking a trade. Like, it's like, for me, it's like, shit, I don't even need to do analysis. It's a holiday. I don't need to look at it. I can call you. I can have this conversation. I can fucking, you know, make more of the course material and whatnot. Like, it's a holiday. It's a day off from needing to like put quite a lot of mental capital in, because every day we go in there, and, you know, the more we do it, the easier it becomes. And I think, it's just, I don't know, it's a paradigm shift. It's a way of thinking, and I get it. I'm there. You know, it's really exciting. Like, and you know, you pulled through, like, and you know, like, good on you. You know, like, I did it. You proved that your necessity to win and do it properly can override like shitty habits and like shitty parts of your personality, and that's fucking amazing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's what I've done as well. I've done that as well. Like, I was like, I'm not doing this shit anymore. It's like, I'm gonna be down as a person. But it's like, how beautiful that we had a vessel that like forced us to change and become better people. Like,
in all aspects of your life, it transfers over. You know, that kind of discipline is not related to the market in all your life. You know, that
it does.
To my trading, to my training, like physically, to actually like how I want to live, eating health. So like, you have that discipline. You know, you start in one thing, and it flows over to everything. You know?
And it's achievement in a different way. It's a self accomplishment over the psyche, going like, I can fucking tame this monkey. You know, that to some degree it doesn't have power over me. Like, I don't need to like things come up where I'm like, shit, you know, and I analyze myself, and I'm like, I could have acted differently then. I could have done that, but it's like I have the ability to overcome that.
Mm.
Whereas before,
Yeah.
you're just like, why me? You're like a victim, you know. So
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just it's really like it's awesome, man, and I'm really like humbly proud of you for yourself as a brother that you've achieved it, and you know here we are. So let's get into the nitty gritty. I really want to know. So you've got what size fund account did you just receive, and who is it with?
300K through my Forex funds.
Okay.
That'll be on Tuesday because I had to open up a 0.10 lots today, and I'll do the same again tomorrow, and then I meet the minimum 5 days.
Yeah. But you've achieved the target.
I've achieved the target. It's actually I'm a grand more than it. It's at 16K and I only needed 15.
Okay. So
I wasn't even at the screen. I wasn't even at the screen when it happened. I was like, you know, I was out, you know, making some chow, you know. I was out making some chow. I think it was during the evening session as well. You know, I was making dinner with the family, you know, I had my limit order set, you know, came back, I was like, oh shit, it's done, you know. So I was like, close everything up, sweet. There you go.
That's amazing.
Great feeling that.
Yeah, and you knew you were going to do it. You knew you were going to win it because you knew that you weren't going to come in and sabotage yourself by loading up or doing stupid shit. You know that like if you made a mistake, you could grind back. It doesn't matter. And you also came in with the aggression, knowing that like, fuck it, I'm just going to get this account right now and then go back to safe trading. So I guess, I guess the interesting thing for everybody to hear, what they want to hear is, you know, what your strategy was when passing the challenge, you know, because we've come to the conclusion that, you know, you kind of need to be more aggressive and load up and find that day that works. So you passed the first stage. Let's just go over. First stage was passed in like you achieved the profit target of 24,000, which is 8%. And you did that in how many days?
I actually did it on day 3, funny enough. I think I did it on day 3. I did it on day 3, yeah.
But you took advantage of that fantastic mean reversion day, which we went across in the last video.
Exactly. Like, oh, I mean, that was beautiful. It was one day that I had 17 in it. It was the first day of 7 and I had 17K. And that just set me up. The next 2 days were super cruisy, you know, it was no pressure trading at all, you know. So I was very, very lucky in that regard. And then onto the phase 2, was done in 3 days as well. Was the 15K. And yeah, it was that was just pretty much, you know, 5K a day. Once I reached that, you know, it was that's also that feeling of you know, I've been rereading Psychology of Money. It's my favorite book I've ever read. That's why I wanted to read it again. And just that need for more, you know, what is enough to someone else, you know. It's like, how much more do you really need, you know? Like I'm very big on not giving back profits now, even in the challenge, because you have to be aggressive. Because how I used to do it, I used to try and jump at everything I would see, you know, because I wasn't in a clear state of mind. I think that is one of the most important things right now, is where I'm at right now. I'm so clear and focused on what I'm doing and where I am, you know. It's like my morning routine is very specific in terms of, you know, my coffee. I sit outside in the sun for half an hour, you know, get some music on, you know, maybe do a bit of reading, but I get into the right mind frame before I even look at the market. Then I look at it, you know. And I said, I think I'm very lucky that I have the dual markets, you know, because it makes it a lot easier. You're not just relying on
you're in good
on New York, you know, even if, you know, there's not great line, but like a little bit in London helps, gives you a little bit more confidence and a little bit more going into the New York session. And yeah, I just had some good days where it gets to kind of those outer bands. And even once it goes against me, it's I feel very confident. The only time I saw a trade go kind of grinding down was literally just after I think I got the account. It was later in that afternoon before the New York session. I reached my profit target and then it carried on grinding down. I was like, if I'd actually had a trade there, I would be down a little bit. And it was interesting to see, but I feel quite confident that when it goes down, then it goes against me and I feel like it's turning, that's when I would put on another trade to go back in towards particularly before New York. I knew it would always come back in. And it was just
fine.
To
scale in. That's how I trade, but on the bigger account, because I'm not worried. The only when scaling is an issue, and it's also when I teach people from the get go, it's like, you know, you can add scaling in when you become confident with what you're doing, but like it's a complex way of trading. It's like, okay, I enter here, it's going against me here, I'm going to get a better average price. I'm going to enter here, and then if it get, you know, you can get back to the middle ground and be break even and get out. Like it's a safe way of getting out if you understand the breathing properly and everything, you know, just like getting layering as much as possible. So as long as you're doing that correctly, it's fine. but like it's almost, you know, just being where you've got to be aware of your breathing space with the account. That's all. So right now, the beautiful thing is you don't need to be using 50 lots. You can use 10, 20 lots and just wallet patter each day, and you will never blow your account. That's the thing. You've got such a big account now, no profit target. You can go back to a smaller lot size, 20 lots, be safe always. You've got double the breathing space as when you're trying to get the challenge done, and you're always going to keep that account, and then you can get another one, and you get another one. You've got 3 accounts in there, and you always got money coming in. You know, that's really how you need to be thinking moving forward. Is just like, I know there's going to be a propensity, like a need to maybe up your lot size a bit more or whatever, but like safety right now is
not at all. Like I don't want to up my lot size. My game plan was, my first stage was to get this account, which I've done. Now, you know, moving on to the funded account, it's one ATR script per session. You know, if it's on, get it, cool. That's what my target is. You know, I still want to do the other 300K challenge, so I can, you know, combine that to a 600K.
Yeah, I guess, can you share your screen and show us how you pass phase 2? Just I guess people, you know, if people are going to be interested in seeing that, how you pass phase two so quickly, and then just the way that you've trained your psychology, or the way you understand that like that's not what you're going to be doing moving forward, because you're definitely not going to try and make 15K in 3 days. Now you've got the funded account, correct?
Correct. 100%.
That's, I mean, how amazing to be able to shift between required greed and aggression to safety. You know, I guess that's what we've really worked on. Training is the only way to do it.
Let's go. There we go.
Like, I don't know if you've got it. You can bring the trades up on MT4 on.
Yeah. Should you want me to bring it onto MT4 onto my Forex funds, or you?
I think my MT4 is the best, so you can show us where the how you entered the trades and whatnot.
Okay. I got a million different fucking screens open at the moment. Let's go.
Or trading view, and just show us what the idea was.
Okay, trading view.
Trading view might be a bit easier if you can show us.
Yes,
yeah. Just showing us what the idea was when you load it up.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I like how you got those moving average crosses. We've added that. But yeah, just.
Okay, we're gonna go back to boom, boom, boom. This is Friday.
Do you use your session times on there or not?
I don't have the session times for trading view. I use them for, obviously, definitely.
You can type it in right now. If you just go to indicators. If you type in, I guess I've got the.
There we go. Click on session time.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, maybe I do have it. I don't know why I've never used that. Okay, that'll be. Oh, there we go. Fucking hell.
Yeah, life changing, huh?
Fucking life changing right there. Love it. All right, cool. So here we are. Bum, bum. This is on Friday. So I would have started this on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then Monday, Tuesday. I started this on Wednesday. That's correct. So I'll go back to Wednesday.
And you just knocked it out, huh? I mean, like that. You had that day there, which was the new. What was that?
So this is still Thursday, and then.
I mean, that was just like such good mean reversion there on Thursday.
Oh, that was like it was beautiful. That was beautiful.
Yeah.
There we go. Okay, see how we go. We're into Wednesday. All right. Okay.
So Wednesday had good mean reversion as well. And you're River Narrow,
Wednesday,
huh? You're using River Narrow. Okay.
Yeah. Well, that's what it's just set. I have them both set up. So like this was my River Narrow for this morning, and then obviously I just turn that off and then turn wide on.
Okay.
Or let me turn wide off. So I literally, it's the same thing I do I have my full routine morning, change from wide to narrow for the London session. And obviously, so you had the open here, and I watched it go down. Obviously, I had my coffee, so I was just kind of cruising a bit about here. I mean, looking at this now, I didn't even notice that then, but you had the cross of the EMAs there. But so it went up there, and now normally here I would have, like in the past, knowing I've taken a trade here, but I didn't. I waited, hit here. That's where. Sorry, no, I took a trade here
and loaded it again.
Profit. Yeah. There we go. Then loaded again here. Boom. That was me down there. That was there for the day. Then I waited for US Open. US opened here at the blue. I was a bit naughty, I remember, because I loaded one, watched it as it was opening and loaded one on that on that band and immediately closed. Put one then onto the second band. That went and down and closed. And then I'd waited, set an alert for once my alert was kind of over here. And then I got the alert, came and looked at the screens again. I'd put one on this first band. And it is, yes, kind of risky. Oh, sorry, that needed to be
Yeah, but
onto
you've got to be on the account. Like,
yeah,
it's also resting that you understand your intuition and you're seeing what's happening. Like, you're confident about what you're doing. I see you still in River Narrow for this session as well, and like there was not, there was no volatility in the market that day. If you were stuck on white, I don't trade the US session. What happened did you realize that you were on River Narrow when you came into that, or how was that working?
Let's actually see. I'm pretty sure I might have been on. Yeah, I think I actually would have stayed on River Narrow.
Yeah,
on that session. That was the thing, yeah, because there really wasn't much.
But then the next day, and you can choose that. Like if it puts it like at the end of the day, it's like you can see the trade. It's like how it's just using it the way that you
exactly see here. There really wasn't much here at the on the Thursday open, but it was before, and that was the thing. So I had looked for trades and I was pretty proud of myself there because I hadn't traded that morning and I'd set some set and forget trades, and I went to gym, came back from gym, and that one which I'd set originally for the first band, because of the band moving up, that had already actually the trade had technically moved down, so that took. And then I'd had these two take before even the session opened, and then this was just a beautiful mean reversion day. It went way out of it, but man, did it come down there nicely as well.
But you generally stay on River Narrow for the U. It sounds like you're doing most of your trading in the UK session, and then like you'll just leave River Narrow on for.
No. I change over. Sorry, I'm just forgetting to
change over.
I 100%. I make sure that before each session I change that over, because that would have been the outer bands on the yeah, exactly.
What trade? Do you remember what trades you took that day? Like, how did you need to take too much? Like, what did you do there?
No. So what I've been doing, especially from behind the screens, with the ATR script at 750 take profit. So I'd been putting it on the bands here. So I'd gotten one there, boom, take it one. And at that point, I'd put another one there, and I kind of bring it down to about $1,000 anyway. And then I'm watching, unless I walk away from the screens, I'll leave it at the 750. But if I'm watching it, and where you can actually like give it a bit more go, like this one ended up being quite a bit. I closed it, I think, down here, and I didn't get the full thing, but I was happy with the take profit there.
So you did all these trades with the ATR script. You weren't like increasing lot size or anything.
No, I don't change I just stick to what the ATR calculates
really
for that take profit. That's all I've been doing.
Okay. And general lot sizing would be what?
It depends on the volatility. Like sometimes in the London session, with the low volatility, it's gone in from 50 to like 70, which is 7 lots. But and then in the New York, it's been like down to 20 or 25 lots. So cool. It's I just liked it because it's standard. I know what I'm getting for that trade, and I know what my stop loss value is. You know what I mean? So it makes it super easy for me to do that way.
Okay, so that was Thursday, and then Friday was when you reached the target.
Yeah, Friday, and then went back onto narrow there. This is a close. This was the Asia session. There we go, and then this was another. Went down, came up, was waiting on this. I'd already set one here on that first band there. Like it's the one thing on I kind of felt really comfortable leaving them on the first band on the in the London session like that, and then again it was like it came down here, and this was actually one of the days that I capitalized on, because I'd had a trade here, I went back, and I'd put a one on the second one, boom, it came back, and then I'd reached my target there, and then this is when it actually fell through, and I wanted to talk about, because this, if I'd had one there, that would have gone against me, and that is where I would have had to manage. So that was
So you just by chance didn't. Yeah.
Exactly. So, I'd reached my target at the right time, but it was a nice little reminder for me that, hey, it can go against you, so.
Well, you can see what's happening there with the moving average cross, because you've got the blue line which is your median, and then you've got the red line falls so far away. Like that kind of pattern there, it falls off the edge of the cliff, is maybe something you should try and register in your head, you know. And at the same time, it's like, you know, it's just like, yeah, it's the shape, the grind, how it's holding at the bottom. It's indicative of, you know, and especially you're on River Narrow as well. So it's like, yeah, it's just something that is going to happen. And the thing is, look, if you left it, it would have come back up and closed. And that's what I'm saying. Moving forward, the only problem is if you're on a 50 or 70 lot in the London session, because of the volatility, you could get, you know, a bit of strife with that. So I always use the same lot sizing. I keep it at 20. Like, obviously, you know, I'd just be on the more conservative side of things for the first few months with this account while you hold it. And so, like, personally,
I think that's the thing also, is just like why I've also remembered is that, you know, I've traded previously where I was trading to get results quickly and to get like targets quickly. But then I'd also be trading in a size that if it did go against me, it'd go against me big, or, you know, you could blow an account. Whereas now, you know, I'm not leaving, you know, 3 or 4 trades on a screen, or trying 4 or 5. It's like, you know, I'm trading small, and even especially going into this challenge, it's 1 trade at a time, because I don't need more than that, you know? So it's knowing that, you know, in the worst case scenario, you know, if it went against you, it's not going to kill you in the end, because you have 1 trade on.
Well, that's it, right? Like, you know, right now you can use 2 20-lot trades no matter what, whenever.
Yeah, exactly.
And you know, and you can even wait to the New York session and just get 1 or 2 good trades in, make you $500, $600, $700 a day.
Yeah.
And as I said, like, it's like, if you consistently pull 10K out of the market every month, like and you know that, like, if you like, this is the worst case scenario you're going to be in. If you were to buy there and it ran away from you, like, it's like, first and foremost, like, knowing that, like, you're going to be fine if that happens, I guess, is the most, because it could happen. It's like, that's part of the nature of the game. So it's like, if you had a buy there and you weren't at the screen, that's the thing. You come back, it's already down the bottom, like really sitting down the bottom there at 8:30 a.m. The news is coming out, like, it's pretty clear. Like, if you left it and you came back at 8:30 a.m. New York time and you're sitting in that, like, I wouldn't be too scared about it coming back up. You just got to wait at that point. But if you've got 20 lots on and you're on a $300,000 account, like, it's not coming anywhere near your daily breathing space. And so it's like you've got, I guess, the psychology I'm trying to infuse into you is, like, say it's, you know, your daily breathing space on that account is what, 5%. So is that, what is that, 15,000? Is it
12K? It's 12K is your daily loss limit. No, 15K. Sorry,
15K. Yeah. So, you know, if your trade is sitting at like -8 grand, like, and it's down the bottom there, like, that's the furthest it's going to go. You can give it a chance to come back up, you know, and like work the bands, because you can see that pattern there as it crosses back up. You know, at the open, there's generally change of direction, but, you know, but it could come up and then start to move back down to the downside, and then you can make an executive decision. I've got to cut the string here at like -7 grand and just go back to the drawing board, and that's the way it is. But the biggest thing is hanging on to that account, because if you can look at the big picture and be like, okay, if I do this for 6 months, like, I'm going to be able to manage like a large sum of money, you know, and like, you can knock out other challenges at the same time around this and have other accounts you can go and trade on if that one gets knocked out of commission while you build that one back to break even. Like, it's your you know, your risk, you're a risk manager, you're not a trader. So your ability to manage the risk is the priority here. It's nothing to do with how much profit you're making. So I would size your, like, I would like take a stop order, a limit script, put it there, you know, at where that alert level is, and drag the stop loss out like a 20 lots, and just see, like, you know, get a measure in there now, because you've got the bigger account. You can drop your lot size a little bit and extend your take profit out further, so that you're always safe, you know. And yes, it yields less profit per trade, but all that matters is that, like, you know, you don't need to go back on a yacht. You know what I mean? It's like, if you can make $200 a day, you're living a great life in South Africa, and just the next 6 months is to prove to yourself that you can do that, is more important than anything. Then after that, if you can prove 6 months of consistent profitable trading and you're living off it, like sky's the limit, bro. You know,
Yeah.
like it's you're doing a decky shift, and then you go to bosun, which is managing $1 million account, and then chief officer, you're managing a $10 million account. Like if you think of it like
Yeah.
that, then it's not going to
Yeah.
be that dramatic for you. It's like put food on the table, but be always safe. So I would measure, like that's the worst case scenario you're going to get, is that drop there. I would go and put a 20 lot in, measure out what the stop loss is at. If you put it at the bottom where the index open is, and see what that is. And if the stop loss is like near 15K, you know, at 40 lots or something, drop it down to 20 so that you've got double the breathing space. And then you can go to the gym. And if you come back and you see that, you're like, okay, cool. Like I'm all good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
maximum breathing space per, you know, is like 2%, 2.5%.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, and then and then going across there, then what trades did you take that data to sort of make up you'd already done it by London, or did you buy there?
I'd done it just before this big drop, you know, so that was me
Fucking
sorted.
hell. Nice.
So that was it sorted, you know, and then I didn't have to worry about this. Yeah. So that was great. Then obviously I went into the which was another really nice session.
Yeah.
This, yeah, you know, which was just picturing around that, like, oh, if you'd had one that you could have got a couple really nice ones in there, you know. I think that's, you know, the thing I've learned is it's just patience to like reading the price action, looking at the 3 and the 5 minute, you know, it's not, your timing is everything. So if you get one right and you can get two right, then, you know, that's it. You don't need to go in for more, you know, so it's just waiting for that right moment. You know, sometimes it comes back quick, sometimes it goes against you, and you have to mitigate your risk and, you know, put in another trade at a better opportunity. But no, it's I think looking back right now, I definitely have almost more pressure than I did before, but I feel more relaxed because, you know, I do love to prove a point that I can do something, and I know that I want to do this full time. And I know the only thing that's stopping me is my own lack of discipline, and I think that's why I've come in. And it was great that the stars aligned. You know, I went through, you know, such a rough period and rough patch to put me where I am now. The start of the year, I got to start afresh, you know, healthy living, healthy eating, good routine, and it's just sticking to my plan, you know, and that's it, you know, rinse, repeat, as you say, you know, you're just waiting for it. It's there, it's not, you know, and you're just like literally waiting there. And if it's not there, you know, like the beauty is just setting those alerts. You know, I just set alerts and then I come back and I have a look at how price is kind of interacting at that point.
Yeah. And like, you know, just do one during London and like wait for a really nice, you know, the thing is too, is like wait for a really nice mean reversion day on New York and then put 5K in there. Like, you know, rinse it when it's there.
Exactly.
When it gives it to you, go for it, you know, like
absolutely.
that's when and then shit, okay, like I've just done 5K today, do a few more wallet patterns and you get to like, you know, if you get to 10K in 2 weeks or 3 weeks, like, you know, have a week off, like wait for that money to come out, like withdraw the cash, you know, and just, it's all psychological management. But again, it just ultimately makes us, it's an incredible skill to have. So that's awesome, man. I feel like really, you know, confident with you just, you know, doing this. And as I said, just the next 6 months, just be super safe with your lot sizing and remember that you only need 3% a month to make, you know, your yacht salary and some. Do you want to? Oh shit.
Oh, sorry.
Want to tell? No, that's good. Do you want to? So your strategy when passing the challenge to load up. What is going to be your strategy with the funded account? I guess just to hear it out of your mouth. Like what? How do you?
Oh, super simple. I mean, I've already calculated this overseas. So I've been thinking about this for so long. It's like, you know, when I get a card, no matter how long it took me, whether it took me a month, 2 months, you know, the maximum 3 months, you know, that you have technically to pass both phases, was once I have the account is to simply do one trade a day, you know, sorry, one trade a session, you know, if it's there,
if it's
takes,
there,
it takes, it doesn't, you know, if it's there, take it, you know. I literally just came from working my fucking ass off for $350 a day, you know. I double that already by placing one trade a day. So no, that's all I'm literally going to be doing, you know, because I also want to prove the point that it's, you know, like you really don't need much. And you just do the simple math, $750 a day. If you do that twice a day, that's 1.5 a day, that's 7.5 a week, that's almost, 30 grand a month. If you did one per session, half that, and you did one a day, you've still got 15 grand a month. That is still more than your chief officer salary. So all of a sudden, this whole need of, I need to make 10K today, blow that shit out your fucking mind, because I don't. I live so much more stress-free. I enjoy my trading a lot more now.
Yeah.
Knowing
Nice.
that it's just like I'm looking for something and it's not there, or it's like, oh, I'm going to leave a limit order here because I feel like this price is going to be pushed up, then it's going to come down eventually,
I
I
feel like
know
you got
it's
a
going to come
skill
down.
too.
Yeah. The thing is, when I'm patient enough and my analysis is right on, I take profit earlier because my timing is better.
Yeah.
When my timing isn't so good, I might have gotten in the trade early. I still make the profit, but it might have taken maybe an hour to like come back down to that. But when when you're really kind of, I feel like when you're on point with the analysis and the patience and waiting for and your timing of the trade, you close that out pretty quick.
It always goes to the spot you look at, and you're like, I should put it there, but I can't. I'm going to put it a bit lower, and then it always goes to the spot. It always,
exactly, yeah.
Like your first instinct, it's like, I'm just going to put it just above the supply zone. Like,
yeah,
I know it's going to go there. It's going to lick into the liquidity. It always happens. And then you just still put it at the supply zone, and it goes over, and you got to wait for it to come back. I've started just trusting putting it above, and I'm like, okay, it works. Like, but it's
exactly.
it's a funny game, huh? It's a funny game.
I mean, it's like like you have to learn that lesson, because every time you go in there and you look at it and you're like, oh, I'm gonna miss it, and it's that FOMO feeling. It's like, well, no, clearly it's not on then, because get satisfaction now. Oh, get that exciting feeling. It's in my zone now. It's in where I'm looking to take advantage of, because that's when you can really, really make some cashish, shall we say.
Totally. And so how has your psychology evolved so that you now can trust yourself to hang on to this account, I guess? I mean, we've talked about it the whole time, but if you could sum it up.
I think, how do I sum this up in I think it's just got to do with my personal circumstances. I think the journey, number one, having lost accounts, having blown accounts, having suffered tilt, I've experienced it. I've thought I've better. I've thought I'm smarter than the market. So I've learned those lessons, and I felt that pain. And then I've also felt the pain going into another job that you're not happy in because it's not what you want to do. Whereas I feel a lot more passionate and confident about trading because of the opportunity it provides, because of the challenge that it is. You v you. It's not you versus the market. It's you in your own mind. So if you are like, in my opinion, if you want to be a successful trader, you have to master your own self and your own psychology. And if you're disciplined enough, you can make money. And that's what I have been, kept telling myself. So as soon as I kind of accepted that and realized, well, put your money where your mouth is and be disciplined, and now that's kind of what I started doing. Instead of previously, I would have been like, I'm disciplined, but now, I see an opportunity and it's kind of in the middle of the mean, but I know it's going down, so I'm going to trade that. No, it's like, it's not in my rules now, so now
It's the rules.
Psychologically, I'm content with a minimal amount of profit, because over the long run, over a month, that's what adds up. Not 10K a day, but 750 a day is what is going to add up to a bigger amount in the end.
Sure.
And having that success, that enjoyment from being disciplined and knowing that, like, I'm not stressed, like I must say, like, it's not sitting there being like, fuck, okay, come on, turn.
Yeah, totally.
I've
I don't have
remembered
any of that anymore.
too well. I'm like, oh my God, come on, turn, come on. And it's going against you. It's like, oh, it's going more. Now it's 8K, now it's 9K. You either get out now, and I remember that all too well. So now it's just like.
But how is that not happening now? Because you're not over leveraged.
Because I'm not over leveraged. Yeah. Don't put yourself in a situation that no matter what happens, if it could go wrong, because things could just go against you. You think anything could happen in the market. It's nothing is guaranteed. But never be in a position where you could, lose the account size, be over leveraged, and have proper risk management in that sense.
And that's what you're going to find the difference when we get you on the practicing on the 1 mil account is like
I've set it up already.
Like you can just throw in 250 lot trades, dude, and like layer in, and like you don't even have to worry about it going against you. Like it comes back. Like the whole concept of the risk rules like evaporates because we're never risking more than like 2% of the account. And you're trying to make 0.5% a day, or 2% a month, 1% a month, and it's like 20, 30 grand, So it's like, or you've been so overtrained that like
Yeah.
it's so breezy, dude. Like with that size leverage, you're getting into like 1-2K so quickly. You know, it goes into profit at some point for a little bit, and you just close it out live.
Yeah.
And you're done. Like I'm putting those trades up every day, seeing them, and it's just such a breeze, you know. So
Yeah.
it's like I'll talk to you about that afterwards, and like, you know, I was recording this at the moment, but we'll get you to like record all your trades moving forward. That's going to really, 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 especially on the 1 mil account, get you recording your trades.
Okay.
Like with a program software called Bandicam, and just record the trade live, talk through it, talk as you nail it. You're not gonna be able to do any silly shit. That account has to be super conservative and literally 1 or 2 trades a day, you know. And if it does go badly against you, you can like, you know, scale in a little bit, a couple of 25 lot trades, you know, as it goes up, waiting for it to come and sweep back down. Like you have more room to do that. You're never worrying about your blowing your risk rules or anything, because you're not trading for the size of the account. Like as long as you don't go over like 100 lots, you're never like gonna, you know, the worst drawdown you've been is like 20K, which is like 2%, and it's a worst drawdown. So
yeah,
it's really interesting to work with that kind of psychology and that kind of account after you've trained so stringently on such risk rules as the prop firms give you.
Yeah.
But I just need you to record that every single day and be really meticulous with that. So the more that you record those trades and make it this meticulous like record of what you're doing, the better it's going to be for me and us when we do get you capital, you know, as well, in that private capital in that regard. And I guess the last thing I'll ask, you know, is how have I helped you become a professional trader? Honestly.
Honestly, well, to be honest, you actually kind of changed my life for sure, because, you know, we met in yachting, you know, I was a decky, heard the lead barrage across the other boat, fucking playing some good tunes, you know, we had some good memories, some fun times along the way. And, you know, you were always, you know, you've been in your trading, and then you know, left the vessel, went and continued on to start up your business here with your mindful scalping. And I was at a stage where I was knowing that, you know, working in an industry with golden handcuffs, I wanted to leave at some point. It was finding that exit strategy. So you literally gave me that exit strategy, because I saw the opportunity that trading provided. You know, yes, it can be an opportunity to everyone, but you taught me the skills to be able to follow a system that works, should you be able to master your own psychology and discipline, you know. So I'll always be eternally grateful for that, because I mean, yeah, look, here I am, I'm sitting at home now. This is what I do for a living. I trade, I go to gym, I go and play golf, you know, I do what I want when I want now, you know. It's the most freeing feeling, you know. You've given me so much more freedom in my own life, so I'm grateful for that, Benny.
That's beautiful, man. Well, you got me off that first vessel, so I owed you one. Remember that? I packed my bags and snuck off the boat on Teve.
Oh my God.
Yeah, fuck. You freed me off the prison boat. So no, that's lovely, man. I appreciate that. Short and sweet. I guess it's the first real testimonial I can say I've got, because you got there. I've been waiting for it. I've been waiting for the authentic thing, you know, and that's why I don't put anything up on my Instagram. I don't put anything up glorifying it until it's real, and it's waited. It took a year. We got here, and here you are, and like I get it. I know that you're there. You know, and it's like, yeah, I think the game plan moving forward for you is just to like, let's pull like, you know, 20K out of this account, and then like split a bit of that capital into like doing a couple of other tests, which you're really good at passing. You know what I mean? Just do that, and then just get 3 accounts, and then you've got them sitting there, and then the world's your oyster, and you can just sit back and just, you know. But there's nothing better than just throwing a cheeky K in the account in the morning and in your underpants, which
absolutely, absolutely, man.
And I say that humbly, but like, you know, it's what it's all about.
All
right, man.
Honest, I think right now, also, I think it's a very exciting period, because this is only the beginning. You know, I feel like you know, you've been working so many years to get where you are, and like, you know, I felt like, you know, I've learned so much in the last year. I still have so much more to learn, but I think it's like a big year, because I'm so clear on what I want to do and where this is going to go for both me and you personally and together. I think it's beautiful. Mark my words. Look back in 6 months, I think we're going to be smiling. Look back in a year as well.
Oh yeah, for sure. I just like, I mean, yeah, I people tell me that my demeanor's changed, and I know it has, but like seeing the difference in you is like, it's all like, and it's not like, it's just the calmness in your confidence of your trading now is like, it's actions speak louder than words, and I can I'm proud to show this video off, you know what I mean, because it's like, as I said, I haven't really shown any of the videos beforehand when you pass tests, because you weren't there, but it's like you are there, and it's like, wow, like it's awesome. It's like, makes me feel really thanks for validating what what I do, and just taking it by the balls, and it's it's the perfect balance of aggression and also, like, calmness and humbleness. And I think that was the second part that you had to add, was bringing in that soft aspect. And it's it inspires everybody now that to pass the challenge. We know that the challenge phases need to be done differently. They need to be done more aggressively. Like, there's no point in just sitting around and waiting to do it in 2 months. It's the ability to come in, set aside a certain amount of capital, knock it out the ballpark real quick, and then get the account and just go back to and to be able to shift between those two mindsets. It's not easy. It's not easy, and how fucking not easy that is. I know how difficult that is.
Yeah.
And it's a superpower. It's the edge, I guess, is to be able to switch it out of that. With the $1 million account, I want you to be even more conservative. Like, just one of the best trades, high leverage, close that thing out as soon as it hits 1.7, 1.8 to $2,000. Just close it out, do a couple of them. You'll be surprised how quickly you can close those trades. It's the same as making $200.
Yeah, no, 100%. And I think like as something for the other guys in mindful scalping to think about, especially if they're doing these challenges, is something I've realized is, when I've been successful at completing these challenges quickly, it's like you just need one big day, and it's like you don't go hunting. It's like, when that opportunity, have the big day, because after that, then it's cruisy. You don't need a lot. You don't, because if you've made 10K, 12, whatever it is in one day, the rest of the days you can be a lot more concerned. You can still be aggressive, but you don't need to like hit it out the park. It's just waiting. Then you feel a lot more stress-free that it's coming. You're making progress. But yeah, with regards to that $1 million account, I'm looking forward to that challenge, to be able to show you, a very meticulously managed risk management on that.
Let me ask you this: if a really good day does come up and you see it, like, because obviously, to pass this challenge, like, you traded Wednesday to Friday, like, they weren't the most favorable days for trading. 2 of them weren't. Like, how are you going to differentiate between, like, the day that, like, on the New York session, that is perfect mean reversion, where you can rinse like 4 or 5K out of it, as opposed to just like trying to hit, like, not like, how can you differentiate between like going for that and like staying out of that kind of mentality in any other environment? How do you?
An excellent question. I think it'll be, honestly, like, there's a couple factors I'd kind of look for in those sort of days. Would be when you can see it go towards the outer band. It's a difference when you have that big shooter. So obviously, number one, sorry, I should say, there's no news release, because then you're not worried about any other external pushes. Once it kind of goes towards the outer bands and then turns, and it goes all the way to the other outer band, once you can kind of start to see a bit of a wave pattern as well. Like, there's 2 steps. There's ones where I've seen on like the 3 minutes and the 1 minute, where you can kind of see it's in a wave pattern going down. It's going up, down, up, down, up, down. And then that I always feel very confident in. Or when you can see it going from literally band to band. So I think when you can kind of see those days, like when it's coming towards the end of a session, it's going to come back up. Like, that's when I would feel confident going in for another trade.
Yeah, and you're happy, like, on your real account to capitalize on a day like that, but you definitely like, and you're not trying to, like, for example, the 3 days that you traded to pass the test, you like, one of those you probably didn't actually need to trade. What I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, just being able to, like, you clearly see the distinction between shifting between the challenge and having the real account, because you've been able to shift out of being aggressive to being conservative, essentially, right? Yeah,
exactly. I think the interesting thing is being able to, like, seeing, as you mentioned, to do another challenge, and have multiple accounts down the line, is to be able to have an account that you're doing one trade, and then the other account is when you're like, okay, now you've hit your target, you've done your 1 trade a day or 1 trade per session, but on your your challenge, you're still going to go for it on that, and being able to have the discipline, say, like, I'm not touching the live account because I've got my $750 for the
Yeah,
day.
yeah,
You know,
exactly.
that's that, and also that is the thing is I've started doing is I'm putting a value to that money I'm making every day. So for example, $750 profit. Okay, this is 2 days or 3 days of the month, 3 days in a row. That's my bond covered. Okay, cool. Next day, next day's profit, that's my car rental for the month. Okay,
Yeah, yeah,
cool.
yeah, yeah,
Next
yeah.
day, that's my food for two
Beautiful,
weeks covered. You
beautiful.
know what I mean? So when you start to think about it that way, it's like, huh, okay, well, I don't really need 10K. I've already paid for that for 2 weeks.
Yeah. And then like, what am
Like
I doing
shift
this week? How much do I need for this weekend? Like, what do I want to buy a new
exactly.
computer? Like, let's go get that. Yeah, we've been
Yeah.
talking about that, but it's beautiful to be putting that into action. All right, man,
Mm.
let's leave it at that. I got a cruise. But it's been a pleasure. Hang on one second.
No, it was
Yo,
just
brother, I'm just finishing a call. I'll give you a call back in one sec. Um, yeah, like congratulations, dude. Like, genuinely, congratulations. Like you deserve it.
thanks,
Like you
Benny.
do. And here's to 2023. Let's do it. But
Let's do it,
yeah.
baby. 100%.
All
Rinse,
right,
repeat,
brother.
rinse, repeat. Cheers,
All
my
right.
boy.
Speak
Appreciate
to you
you. Thanks for
soon.
the time.
Bye.
Yeah, boy.